think I jinxed us. Okay, so, welcome back to Toy News with Kaiju. At least that's what I'm trying to run with now. And as you can see now, Toy News has actually come out. Finally! Seemed like forever. But anyways, as you can see, some updates from SH. Of course it was going to be SH. They have revealed their new, Shimo figure. And, yeah, I got a lot to say on it. So, I'm just going to start off with my positives with the figure. One, I just want to point out that I really like the crystals on top. Those crystals look really nice. And, like, with proper lighting, they would probably look even better. In the promo images, or the teas that we got, the crystals look kind of blue, or like light blue, or just like a lighter blue. And, well, they kind of change colors throughout the movie. They go from like a dark blue to a light blue in the movie, so they just change whenever they are. So that's just something to point out. I also like, the eye. The eye is definitely something to note, although you can hardly see the eye in some images, like this image. But I also do like the tail in the end. I like well, not the tail, the Thagomizer in the end. It's nice and big. So I've seen many people point out that this is based off the concept art of Shimo, and yeah, I can definitely see it. I should also mention I will be making many comparisons to the Hiya Shimo that we got a while back. So yeah, these two are definitely gonna be compared a lot in this video. I'm just gonna rip off the Mandarin now. I like the Hiya Shimo more. It just looks better, and I'll get into my reasons right now. So the one thing that everyone and their mother has pointed out is the painting. The painting just looks, I don't know, unfinished. It just doesn't look right. And yeah, I could definitely see it does look very unfinished. I've seen a lot of people compare this to the Playmates, and kind of in some areas, but I think this bears more resemblance to the movie Monster series. Just like take a look at the movie Monster series, you'll see what I mean. This looks exactly like opposable movie Monster series, which is a big compliment to movie Monster series, but a huge roast to SH. And another thing I wanted to point out, some proportional problems, and this is probably due to either adding more articulation or using this concept art. And yeah, when it comes to the stylized nature of SH, that's definitely due to fit more posability in there. They're called the articulation series after all, so they can't skip out on us. But for some reason, that they didn't decide to pose the fingers, even though the Hiya did, which sucks. And but why am I complaining about this? Why am I complaining about the fingers of all things? Well, I'll get into that. I will get into that. Oh yeah, I should also probably mention that this also comes with an accessory for Kong. It upgrades his face, it gives him the silver tooth and the snarling look he has in all the posters. It's not bad. Oh hey, this is the tease we saw earlier. It's not bad, but I see no point to pick it up if you're gonna get the Shimo. And plus, how hard can it be to just take one of King Kong's own heads, grab like a silver sharpie, and just paint over that tooth? Like it shouldn't be that hard to mod it yourself. In this image, she looks like a curious dog for some reason. I don't know why. It's probably because she is a curious dog. Doggy. Nothing to note out, and this puts me off too. What is happening with the head? Like, the head looks really off. It looks like a whale. The way that there's just no, like, membrane there, or just, like, right here. It just goes all the way back here. Like, jeez. Another thing to notice that the Hiya just has a lot more painted on crystals, like on this jaw here, as you see, more on the back of the spines. Definitely gives it the better look. Slow. Also to note that these crystals are actually painted on, whereas the SH are just clear and transparent, which has a plus for. As for which I prefer, I think that the practicality and usefulness will lead to highest side because you don't have to control the lighting to make the crystals look good. So I think Hiya works with that point. Now, the biggest thing that I've seen about this figure or complain about it is that it scales for the 6-inch line. Alright. While Hiya scales for the 7 inches. And the Hiya comes around to. How about it? It's okay. This next segment, I'm going to show you the scale of these figures. Hi, how's it going? So, the Hiya Shimo is about 13 inches long. Not that long, right there. And 7 inches tall. Not 7 inches, 6 inches. So about that big. So, yeah, that's a pretty sizable figure for the 7-inch scale. Maybe a bit smaller than I would like it, but then again, Shimo's size changes all throughout the movie, like 4 times. It's annoying. But what really baffles me is that the SH monsterarts you would think would be smaller since Hiya is in the 7-inch scale and not the 6-inch scale. But no, the SH figure is this long. That's 17 inches. And I've heard stories where she gets to about this long, which is 19 inches. What? This thing is huge. It's about 7 inches tall. Hold on. It's like the size of this guy. Like, holy jeez. What's up? Yeah. So, that makes no sense at all. It's so dang big. This concludes this segment. So, that makes no sense at all. Even up here, it states right here, nearly 17 head to tail instead stands 7 inches tall. 7 inches tall and 17 inches head to tail. That is, wow. That's crazy. Also, to talk about the price, it goes for about 17, or not 17, 174 USD. I've heard it goes for about like 230 USD, 174 USD. And I'm gonna be honest, due to that size, I don't think I can be too mean on it. But I'm still gonna be mean on it. I'm still gonna crap on it. What that size means is that they're not gonna be able to put in as precise painting as they would normally with like a smaller 6-inch figure. So that sucks. Not to mention, there may be, if unstable joints are on this figure, then that's gonna be like in a world of hurt because this thing is huge. But when it comes to unstable joints, usually the bigger the ball joint, the more sturdy the ball joint is. So that's just kind of up for debate, I guess. But what also really baffles me is that, like, it's just the painting in general. I'm gonna go back onto the painting, like I was saying before. The painting looks unfinished, but this looks not only that they did nothing, not even like a black wash, not like to highlight those details, no nothing. It's just bare. I think all they did was give it like a little glossy like paint over, which is accurate to the movie. But when we go over to the Hiya figure, this is a lot more accurate to the movie. If you watch like the real fight or like any other scene with her in it, she looks like this, which looks like they had access to the movie models where SH had access to the concept art. And that sucks, man. This giant figure. I would have loved to have a giant SH figure. Not to mention this thing is gonna be a huge shelf hog. But I don't know, man. And the reason why I'm actually praising Hiya's painting, even though I've called out their painting before, like on the Evolved Godzilla, is because we looked at this image last time, and we were looking at Godzilla before and how it doesn't look anything like the promotional images. But Shimo over here does. Shimo looks good. As you see over here, Shimo can't really move, but yeah, that's what Shimo actually looks like in real life, and that looks actually really good. Although for some reason her feet are not planted onto the ground right, which is kind of weird. But anyways, back to about this. So, in conclusion, will I be getting the SHMA? Probably not. I'll be getting the Hiya Shimo. Let's get my hands on it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Although I just want to dedicate this last part of the video to kind of mentioning the people who, of course, have been hating on this figure, but has also dragged down the rest of the line with it too. I touched upon it about my last video, which I should remind you guys I was not proud about that last video. I don't like being negative, but if no one else is gonna say it, I gotta say it. I feel like when it comes to the GXK line, I feel like Godzilla and Kong's first issue, the first reissues, the repaints, those look good. Like, they were just repaints. Nothing new to see here. If you didn't have your hands on these figures, it was a good opportunity to get your hands on those molds. But I already had my hands on mold, and I didn't need them. And then Evolved Godzilla came out, blew everyone's socks off. And then everyone was like, yo, Hiya, or not Hiya, SH is so back. We're so back into this business. This looks so good. And Star King came out, and people were like, okay, this is a little rocky, but we're not going to take this away from SH. And then Shimo came out, and everyone, and I can see why people are like, okay, yeah, we're going back to this. But some people have gone back to saying, nah, everything was just terrible in the first place. Everything. And have seen to make their entire personality traits just to dog on SH. Now, I'm going to be honest. SH has had really, really bad issues. Still has really bad issues. One, the scaling. Like I just said, scaling for these figures suck. Two, these prices. What are these prices? Three, accessories would have been nice for these prices. And four, what are these paint jobs sometimes? These painting can just suck sometimes. Yeah, but nothing to note is that when it comes to this figure, the Japanese market has kind of called out Western audiences for complaining too much. Are they right? Yeah. People have just been whining about this for so long, and I just look at it, I'm like, it's not that deep, bro. Like, it's an action figure. You shouldn't be whining about this that much, and I know that this point can be, like, excused, but it still has some truth behind it. If you don't like it, just don't buy it and go buy the Hiya. That's why we have Hiya. They're our backup. That's why Hiya exists for SH fans. They are our backup, just in case SH just fumbles the gun too much, like here. But some people have just not gotten that memo and just completely, just because are just whining about it, and then they concluded by saying, "I'm still gonna get it." Like, why? If you don't like it, don't buy it. So that will give the message to the creators that we don't like these figures and that they should change. Why are you buying it then? So you don't have to? Well, just Wait till someone actually buys their own version and they actually like don't have a problem with it. Watch their video, and then you can conclude your summary and base this on that. Simple, bro. Simple. So, yeah, another thing to note is that many companies have had like accessories packaged with other figures for another figure, like here with Kong here, and yeah, that happens. That happens. And for the most part, the fan bases of those companies don't complain nearly as much as SH does it, because whenever they do it, they're fine. But whenever SH does it, everyone loses their socks. I don't get it, man. So, in conclusion, what is there to leave out? You cannot like the SH line, that's fine. But please don't go whining about it like an 8-year-old that hasn't got their yogurt yet. Because if you are whining about it like an 8-year-old that hasn't had their yogurt yet, then I think you need to rethink your ideology. So that's pretty much it. Now, I implore you guys to remember this. Like what you like, hate what you hate. Just don't be a jerk about it, alright? Salutations, and I'll see you later, y'all.